Alright, let's move on to example 3. E to the x plus 5 equals 60. So we're going to want to get the e to the x by itself here. So we'll minus 5 to both sides. E to the x equals 55. And now we want to get rid of the e. How do we do that? We put a natural log in front of it. But if we do it on the left, we have to do it on the right. So those will cancel. X equals the natural log of 55. And it says give me 3 decimal places. So we're going to plug it into our calculator. And this is approximately equal to 4.007. All right, see if you can knock it out on your own. Problem 55. So 55, we want to get the negative 2 by itself, so we'll minus 7 to both sides and end up with negative 2. We'll divide both sides by negative 2 and just get 1. E to the x equals 1. How do we get rid of the e? Put a natural log in front of it. So x equals, after those cancel, the natural log of 1. And if we plug that into our calculator, the natural log of 1 is 0. Why is it 0? Remember, we're saying, how do we go from e to something and get 1? Remember, anything in the world to the 0 power is 1. So that's why x is 0. Let's keep moving on to example 4 here. Again, 3 decimal places is what we're looking for. And we're trying to get t out of the inside. So we're going to take it step by step. First, we're going to add the 4. Get 2, 3. Be careful not to distribute that 2 in there, because we're going to divide it out here in a second. We're going to divide that 2 away. And so we're going to get 3 to the 2t minus 5 equals, plus 4 is not 7, it's 15. 15 over 2 is 7.5. All right, we want that t out of there. How do we get rid of the 3? We need to do log base 3. And if we do it on the left, we do it on the right. So the log base 3 and the 3 cancel. We're left with 2t minus 5 equals log base 3 of 7.5. Okay to have a decimal in there. And so we're going to add 5 and add 5. And then we're going to divide by 2 and divide by 2. So t will equal log 3 of 7.5 plus 5 divided by 2. And if we plug that into our calculator, we're going to end up with approximately 3.417. So let's try one on your own. Problem 57. All right, step 1, let's add the 7. 6 to 3x minus 1 equals 16. Let's divide by 6. 2 to the 3x minus 1 equals 16 divided by 6. They're both even, so we could reduce them here. 8/3. And now how do we get rid of the 2? Log base 2. Log base 2. Cancel. 3x minus 1 equals log base 2 of 8 over 3. We're going to add 1. We're going to divide by 3. And we'll get x equal to this. And when we plug it into our calculator for problem 57, we're going to end up with 0.805. That's what you should have gotten on problem 57. We're going to try one more example in this video, example 5. And this is a quadratic. It's a little tricky here. Sometimes the quadratics are a little sneaky with the e's. What you need to be able to do on this one is say, what's our middle term? It's e to the x. How do we change e to the 2x into e to the x? Rules of exponents, we can take that 2 and pull it out side of the parentheses. And so now we have 3 e to the x plus 2 equals 0. And what we basically have here is the equivalent of like y squared minus 3y. I'm just using y as a holder variable, plus 2. Could we factor this? Sure we could. This is y minus 2 and y minus 1. So the equivalent over here with the e's is e to the x minus 2, e to the x minus 1. that equals 0. So we'll go ahead and solve this. E to the x equals 2 or 1. And so how do we get rid of the e? Throw that natural log in front of everything. So x equals natural log of 2 or natural log of 1. And there's one more step you can go on natural log of 1. Natural log of 2 is going to be some crazy decimal. We'll leave it alone. But the natural log of 1, think if you can figure out what it is, it's 0. Why? Because e to what power gets me 1? 0. All right, so let's try one on your own. E to the 2x minus 4 to the ex minus 5. Proper way to do this, ex squared minus 4ex minus 5 equals 0. So we're going to have e to the x minus 5, e to the x plus 1. So e to the x equals 5 or negative 1. So x equals, we'll do the natural log of 5 or the natural log of negative 1. And if we plug those into our calculator on 59, you're going to end up with 1.609. And then you're going to get an error over here. Let's talk about why we have this error. This is e to what number gets me negative 1. Is there any power here that can change e to a negative? Nothing will change to a negative. So that's why we have an error.